So here I am in front of the statue of Robert Clive, or Clive of India as he was known. This is in Shrewsbury, and Shrewsbury is a town in England. It's about half an hour from the border with Wales. Shrewsbury is the town where the statue of Clive is located because he was a member of Parliament representing Shrewsbury. Now, Clive of India is the person who is known as the conqueror of India, the British conquest of India, more precisely of Bengal, started in 1757 with Clive's triumph over Siraj-ud-Dowlah at what is called the Battle of Plassey. And shortly thereafter, the East India Company became the hegemonic power, moving ahead into the decades ahead. And it is in 1763 that the East India Company, for which Clive worked as a servant, to use the word that was widely used in those days, meaning an employee, that in 1763 the East India Company acquired the Diwani, or the rights to revenue collection, from the Mughal emperor. Now, Clive is an extraordinarily interesting character. One can think of him really as a bandit, of course, in the 18th century, and indeed into the 19th century if one reads Macaulay's essay on Clive, which was required reading for every schoolboy in England, and I dare say for many schoolboys, at least attending school, English medium schools in India. This essay made a very different argument whereby Macaulay, while acknowledging the various ways in which Clive had obviously committed certain kinds of egregious errors, nonetheless took the view that Clive was in some ways a great hero, the person who in some ways can be viewed as the principal figure behind the British Empire, if we recognize the fact that India was, to use the common expression, the jewel in the crown. Now, Clive's history is a very sordid history, but very briefly, the only thing that I want to mention here is that apart from some discussion of the statue itself, over which there has been some controversy, but Clive's activities in Bengal made him one of the richest men in England. He came back with a fortune that sometimes has been estimated at worth 30 million pounds in today's currency. Some say the figure is much closer to about 300 million pounds. I've even heard of much larger estimates than that. One of the most astonishing episodes from the life of Clive is the fact that he was impeached. And there is this memorable line where when he's being impeached, he says, "Here I stand, my lords, astonished at my own moderation." In subsequent years, Clive, after his return to England, became an opium addict and he committed suicide. And here to my left over here is an interpretation board or plaque that was put up only this year, 2023, in March 2023, partially in response to the BLM, to the Black Lives Matter movement, because there was this widespread feeling that this statue should be taken down. It was retained here. Clive was actually born in a town called Market Drayton, I think, which is not very far from Shrewsbury. It is a matter of record that the 8th Earl of Powys Castle is where the Clive Museum is, that the 8th Earl of Powys himself has said that this statue of Clive should be taken down. But here I am in front of the statue of Clive of India.